Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Hunger Games. We're so back. And I want to apologize. There's been a little delay in some more episodes coming up. No one at all on planet Earth has hit me up and said, where are more episodes? But apologies to myself. Been a little busy personally and doing some new things in life. So took a couple week break, but also some of that had to do with like the shitty movies that have been coming out. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to talk today about a movie that I had wanted to do an episode on, I don't know, at least 3 or 4 weeks ago, but I hadn't gotten around to seeing the movie, and there's been a lot of shit out this summer. A little disappointing because summer movie season is the season, other than maybe the winter holiday run, but summer movie season has been disappointing. I've only seen a couple movies that I want to talk about in the last couple weeks, and I've been lagging on a couple other ones. Like I'm yet to see Toy Story 5, which I will see soon. I am looking forward to The Odyssey. I am looking forward to Spider-Man Brand New Day. I do think those two are going to be really fun, and I think Odyssey and Spider-Man in that order are probably going to be the best two movies of the entire summer. So there's some stuff to look forward to, but I had been putting off Masters of the Universe, and it's a remake kind of a 1987 movie that I did a different episode on already, which if you haven't listened to, you should check out with myself and my former colleague and friend Angel Acevedo. We talked about the original film starring Dolph Lundgren, and I really wanted to see this remake because one, Jared Leto plays Skeletor, and I love Jared Leto. And two, I wanted to see this because I wanted to see what they would do with the story. When we were doing the episode on the 1987 version of the movie, I actually mentioned that of all the movies that they remake these days, I was looking forward to them remaking this one because it felt like this one could use a facelift, an upgrade, a visual effects enhancement, a story tweak, something to make it more entertaining or exciting, and they did all that. And it's kind of disappointing. I was just looking up before I started recording here that I think the movie costs almost $200 million to make, which is a lot, but it's also kind of normal for summer blockbusters. And I don't think it made much more than $100 million at the global box office, which is a huge disappointment. Now I think this is an Amazon MGM movie, I'm quite sure, and they had been on a run lately, especially with Project Hail Mary. One thing I didn't realize until doing some research this morning is the music that was done for Masters of the Universe was great, by the way. They took a theme song from 1987 and enhanced it and made it more kind of iconic sounding movie overall. And Daniel Pemberton did the music, who also did Project Hail Mary's music and Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse. And I think those two Spider-Verse movies have some of the best music in any animated or live action feature film that I've seen in a long, long time. So the music was really good in Masters of the Universe, which is, I think, part of what helped carry the movie. I'd give the movie a B to a B plus. It's in that range of like, it's not, I wouldn't necessarily call it a B plus because like the story is meh, but like everything else was B plus, like the production value, the acting, the way they executed, all that was like B plus. But I harp back on length of films, and my biggest gripe with this movie is I think it was 2 hours and 12 or 2 hours and 15 minutes. I don't need that. I don't need that for this genre, and I don't need that for a movie that's not an Academy Award film or a Marvel film. I just don't need that. And by the way, most Marvel films are nominated for some sort of Oscar, even if it's just visual effects or something along those lines. But this movie could have been shorter. This movie was highly entertaining. B to B plus range if you're into like the summer blockbuster, sci-fi fantasy genre. Again, like we were talking about on the episode of the original, it's based on a line of toys from Mattel. So you see like a giant Mattel logo when the movie opens. And I'm not going to go into, like, again, long movie. I'm not going to go into like detail after detail about the plot and all that. The movie's been out for a bit now. It came out in May. You can go look up the plot. The things I want to highlight are, and I'm not going to say his name right, so I apologize. Nicholas Galitzine. He's a British actor who plays Adam, who ends up being He-Man. And he is incredible in this movie. Like, he is so good in this movie that every scene that he's in, I just wanted to watch more of him. And he was so good on camera. And I think that needs to be mentioned because I did not expect that. I just thought he was going to be like a cheeseball actor playing a cheeseball character. Another one that was really good, Camila Mendez, who I guess was a longtime cast member of Riverdale. Again, a show I haven't watched. My apologies. She was amazing as Tila. And Idris Elba is actually in the movie for a good portion of the movie as Duncan, playing Tila's father. Like I said, Jared Leto's Skeletor. They do this like voice enhancement thing on Jared Leto, so like it doesn't look like or sound like Jared Leto at all. And this was like one of Jared Leto's, and he's never gonna listen to this, so who gives a shit? But this was one of Jared Leto's better movies in the last like 5 to 10 years. Just because the comedic performance alone and everything else that he was doing as Skeletor, helping kind of yin yang balance the Adam character when Adam's not in scenes, and then when they're in scenes together, he's just like a really good evil, like not R-rated villain. And he like, it was really dope the way they just carried out the visuals and the voice and all that. Allison Brie plays Evil Lynn, and her acting's a little over the top, but the character's a little over the top too. Standout moments of this movie for me, again, the VFX were good. It was like a huge facelift compared to what we were talking about in an earlier episode on the 1987 version. There was a cameo from Dolph Lundgren, spoiler, great spoiler, who's working out in the gym early in the movie and makes a comment about Adam's journey, which I thought was awesome. Like, you needed Dolph Lundgren in this movie for something, just for shits and giggles at very least, and he delivered on the shits and the giggles. Maybe in it for a minute. And then another really cool aspect of the movie, something that I thought made it really fun throughout, is just Adam, who becomes He-Man, has all these friends growing up that become these special warriors. And the two most memorable, I guess you could say three most memorable, because there's one that's just like this weird mechanized long neck guy named Mechaneck. But the other two, other than Mechaneck, most memorable characters that are sidekick friends of Adam's that are in the world of Eternia are Fisto and Ram Man. And Fisto is this guy with this giant mechanized fist that punches really hard, and it's not like a Marvel movie where there's some complicated superpowers or whatever. It's just Fisto is Fisto, and he punches people hard with his fist. Very easy to understand and grasp onto, visually and from a story standpoint. Like, they don't need much of an explanation, which worked really well. Ram Man, again, is just some guy that doesn't really have the greatest verbal skills, but he's wearing big metal armor with this rounded dome helmet, and he has like a jetpack, and he just rams into people and rams into things. Ram Man. And I think the movie's PG-13, but there's a couple like R-rated ish jokes that they wrote very well towards the end of the movie related to Fisto and Ram Man, and I'm going to ruin them in the worst of ways because the context is going to be off. But there's a scene where they're talking about what Fisto and Ram Man do, and I think Fisto says something along the lines of, "I'm going to go fist a lot of people," and and Ram Man goes, "And I'm going to give him head," because he rams people with his head first with his round dome metal helmet thing. And I kind of was just like dying laughing during that, and there wasn't a lot of other people laughing in the theater. I think it was mostly kids in the theater, and it was a kids movie. Actually, I saw the movie like in Vegas or outside of Vegas. I was on a trip, and the theater was full. Like almost a month into being out in theaters, this movie, and the theater was full, which was awesome. Like, I'd love to see that. Theater business, please go. We need it. I want movies to continue to come out in theaters. But also, I realized that this movie, I think, is already out of theaters, and I've heard that it might even be like coming to digital soon or on digital already. It's just $200 million budget for a movie that Amazon or the distributors can't find ways to keep in theaters is just beyond disappointing. Now, I know there's movies like Toy Story 5 and like distribution's a nightmare, and the studios are paying a lot to distribute these films. But Masters of the Universe was really fun. Like I had a friend of mine, former coworker of mine, who posted on Instagram one day like, "Well, should I go see Disclosure Day or Masters of the Universe?" And I responded to him. We had a little brief talk about it, and I'm like, I saw Disclosure Day, and at that point, I had not seen Masters of the Universe, and I said, I don't care how bad Masters of the Universe is, I would not see Disclosure Day. And he actually ended up seeing Masters of the Universe and said he enjoyed it and said he thought it was fun. And then after that, shortly after that, I saw it and I told him I saw it and I thought it was fun, and it was fun. And it looked like, if you see this 2026 version of Masters of the Universe, don't have like high expectations for like a great storyline or whatever. The movie, like, part of the reason I love the movie is because it exceeded my expectations, but it is what it is. And like, I think not a lot of movies are that anymore. Like I saw the two horror movies that were really, big this year, Obsession and Backrooms. And I can tell you from seeing both of those that expectations going into those movies and what you thought those movies were going to be are not what those movies necessarily are. So it is what it is, kind of as a compliment in regard to Masters of the Universe, because yes, my expectations were exceeded as far as the acting and the production and like how they carried it out. But I don't need to be like overwhelmed or blown away by some intricate artsy plot or finale or plot twist or whatever. Like, sometimes a movie is just really great because it's this straightforward, linear, okay, here's what we're giving you, here's what you expect, here's what you got. And that's really what Masters of the Universe did. It highly improved upon the original movie. They played a lot more into the characters, as far as I understand, from the original cartoon and just overall toys. His cat is actually in this, which is awesome. Battle Cat. Angel and I were talking about Battle Cat not being in the original movie. He's got like Adam's got like a little tiger that talks, who's super cute, all CG obviously, named Cringer, who eventually leaps into action towards the finale of the movie as Battle Cat. And they like this, for somebody who's not really, a big fan of the toys or even the original cartoon. They really, according to everything I read and people I talked to, they nailed like the nostalgia, like fanfare, of all of this, and made it to where people that are interested in the lore and the cartoons could really latch on to like what they delivered. So they delivered everything that the original movie did not deliver. They made an entertaining movie, and the only thing that they really could have done much better, other than maybe like up the storyline a little bit, was maybe cut some scenes or something. I mean, just long. Like, I don't need 2 hours and 2 hours and 15 minutes of He-Man, Master of the Universe, but they built into this really cool universe, and it was kind of like not necessarily like an origin story, but it kind of was an origin story where they set up more for Adam and He-Man and Teela and Duncan, and this whole Eternia Earth dynamic, for them to make a sequel and for them to do more with this. And unfortunately, in the industry, when you spend that much money on a movie and it relatively flops, you only make half of the budget back, you got a problem. Because I read when the movie was released that they were already developing a sequel. Does Amazon MGM have money to burn to continue to make this sequel, even though this movie didn't make great money? Absolutely. I mean, I think they're just burning, like literally lighting cash on fire with the Lord of the Rings series. So I'm sure they could light cash on fire for another movie. I'm positive of that. I don't need to be behind closed doors for that. But I don't see the sequel going through with this one. Now, I hope I'm wrong, because you got a lot of potential for a fun sequel that is hopefully less than 2 hours or at 2 hours. A fun sequel that would probably somehow involve Jared Leto as Skeletor again. Somehow, I don't know. But it would be highly beneficial if they could figure out that character coming back. And so Masters of the Universe, when it comes out on Amazon Prime or wherever it comes out to stream or watch, because it's already out of theaters, I'd say big thumbs up. Watch that shit. It's fun. It's the type of movie where I'm sure if you're watching it at home, you could pause it and restart it, and you're not going to feel too lost. And it's family friendly enough, other than the fisting and Ram Man giving head jokes. But there's nothing like a good giving head joke. And yeah, I'd check out Masters of the Universe. And I'm going to do another episode coming up soon. I saw Supergirl recently. I was pretty impressed with Supergirl. I like, I'm big into the superhero genre. Those of you who know me know that I won't shut up about it. But yeah, thank you for being patient with me on this episode. I know it's taken probably a couple weeks for me to get another one out, but the Hunger Games is still here. We're not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. Thank God. Knock on wood. And I appreciate all the support and love. And please check out the Hunger Games Pod on Instagram. Email thehungergamespod@gmail.com. Send me texts, DMs, whatever. Please also, if you want more episodes, let me know what you want to hear about. I'm watching more shows. We're going to get some more shows on the pod. I'm watching a Netflix show that I'm trying to burn through in the next week or so. That's pretty good cast. So yeah, thank you again for riding with me as always. And I know this was a shorter episode, but I wanted to keep it short and sweet and to the point. And Masters of the Universe 2026, when it's on streaming, check it out. This has been the Hunger Games.